Friends, now it's a proud privilege for me to invite Mr. Pavan Kumar, Senior Vice President, Global and Indirect Business, Altair. Mr. Pavan Kumar is a business leader with 32 years of experience. He's been the past chairman of Indo-American Chamber of Commerce, a bachelor in Industrial and Production Engineering from Bangalore University, and he's done his MBA from TAPI Management Institute. So a warm welcome, a hearty welcome to Mr. Pavan Kumar.
Good morning. Pleasure to be here this morning. Though it's a small crowd, but I'm sure it's the first time for all of us meeting people in person. Pleasure to see people rather than 2D images on the screen. Having said that, I think both the speakers who went before me spoke about the three aspects that I've written down there. Sustainable, efficient, lower cost. Everybody talked about how to have all three of them put together. What does a company like Altair contribute to sustainability? We don't make products. We don't create anything ourselves. We are a technology company which creates technology used by customers for creating sustainable, low-cost, efficient mobility devices. So I wanted to touch upon the one single vision statement that we have. We really want to change the way all of you, all of our customers, take decisions using all the tools that are there today, be it AI, high-performance computing, or simulation. With that, I won't bore you with a corporate PPT, but take you through three stories. First story, a lot of people, when we look at sustainability and mobility, we ignore air. One of the biggest contributors to pollution today is aero engines. How can we make them sustainable? I tried to pick more examples from Europe, where we have worked with customers rather than anywhere else in the world, specifically Germany, seeing the context of this meeting. So this is in Germany, an initiative called Accentis. I'm not familiar with this name, but it's an approved center of engineering, technology, and service support. And they converted a conventional aircraft made by PC Aero into an electric drive. It's a manned aircraft. It's a technology demonstrator at this stage, and it runs on solar power. Key things, obviously, is to reduce the weight, increase the strength, and reduce the number of design iterations. And these were all achieved using tools and technologies that we provide to them. They've been customers of ours, I think, from 2009. This is one example of air. The next example, the next story I want to talk about is freight. Oftentimes we ignore rail transport. Rail is probably the most sustainable way of transporting things. It's low cost if you use electric power, and if you can generate it using renewable means, it's a forever running thing. But the innovations in this domain remain few and far in between. So there's actually another collaboration between the rail cargo group of OBB, Voestalpine, and Altair. The whole idea was, how do we increase the life of the carriage beyond 30 years? In fact, I didn't know rail carriages have to live for 30 years. Reduce the number of parts to assemble. The whole idea is, if you can reduce the complexity of assemblies, you can probably make do with fewer resources. How do you reduce the weight of the carriage? With these three, I would say, divergent goals, they actually don't seem to work together. Oftentimes, common sense says if we want to increase the life, we make it heavy and, a lot more on the opposite side. Uniquely, the project delivered more than what was put down as the targets. They came up with 40% less parts to assemble, 20% lesser weight, and 4 tons more payload per freight carriage. A remarkable achievement. Multiply this into maybe 20 carriages in a train, multiply that into maybe 100 trains, look at the savings that you get. Again, this was achieved using two technologies that we pioneered in the simulation world. The third story I couldn't resist is road. And this is a Croatian automaker. I don't know how many of you are familiar with this company called Rimac. Rimac has become more popular because they bought Bugatti. Bugatti was sold off by Volkswagen Group to Rimac recently. These guys want to have, again, divergent goals. They want to have electric mobility with fun. It's not a everybody's car. This is a supercar. They want to achieve a speed of 1.9, 0 to 100 in 1.97 seconds. I don't think it's technically any one of us would like to see that. A 410 kilometers per hour top speed. Incredible figures. How did they want to achieve it? They obviously wanted to do this using fiber, using monocoque, fiber reinforced components. They wanted to be lighter. They wanted it to correlate with test as often as possible. And the solution was a single piece, actually. The whole monocoque is a single piece now. And this was achieved using, again, the tools and technologies that we pioneer. So who are we? We are a $500+ million company with 3,000 plus customers across the world. And we count customers in almost all segments, right from automotive to aerospace to education to all facets of engineering. And what do? We do all these 6 boxes. This is the traditional corporate boxes. Data analytics, simulation, modeling, IoT, HPC, and of course the last box is partner alliance. If anyone here is running a technology company, you think that technology can be a good addendum to our tools, that what we talked about, we would invite you to talk to us. With that, thank you very much for this opportunity, Jose, and thank you, Mr. Nath.
Thank you, Mr. Pavan Kumar, for an excellent presentation. I think the 3 examples you gave were really very interesting.